NACDL is the association of the nation's criminal defense bar.
I'm a tech advisor for NACDL, and I'm also a computer hacker. And I'm just going to talk to you quickly, as it says here, on protecting your communications from Big Brother in 15 minutes. So we all got maybe 13 minutes now, so I really need you to dig deep, dry up, and make this happen, okay? Okay, well, clients expect you to know this stuff, which is why you need to know this stuff. All right? I just want to push that. So this whole sophisticated attorney thing, that's like tech elitist speak. It's not fair. It's not cool. In reality, a lot of folks who look like me expect a lot of folks who look like you to just be gamed up on all this tech stuff and encrypting all our stuff and having our things sorted and all of that, and advising us about those PDFs that need to be files and all kinds of things like that. So that's why I'm speaking to you. Okay. So who is Big Brother? Big Brother is you, okay? I woke up this morning at the Graduate, if anyone is staying there, and next to my bed is this thing called a Roxy. It's like a computer with a microphone in it, and it just does all this cool stuff, like tells you when breakfast is. So as a hacker, I was like, no thank you, Roxy. So I turned it off. But then it turned itself back on 5 minutes later and said, I must remain plugged in to serve other guests. I was like, are you kidding me, all right? So all of you out there have your passwords leaked on the internet. That's just reality of anyone who uses the internet. So if you go to haveibeenpwned.com, if you look at the Firefox monitor, if you even do a cursory search on Pastebin, that's not just you, it's also your clients. So anyone could be accessing your personal data going into your stuff. That's not good. That's Big Brother, and it's really your own Big Brother. In your phone is Big Brother. Everything we use, computers, is Big Brother. And as we talked about earlier today with Norman, you cannot live in the hills as a hermit and get around it. We have to know this stuff. We have to protect ourselves, okay? Big Brothers are also hackers, because hackers have no laws and no land. So if you go to the WikiLeaks website, you can still read all those Sony lawyers' emails. So, that huge blob on the bottom of your email, hey, here I am, Esquire, I did all this work, I'm working with this law firm, do not use this information. Hackers laugh at that. If all of your email ends up on a website and it's searchable for anyone. For a prosecutor, it's searchable for anyone in the world, and there's no turning that off. There's no getting that back, all right? So if your emails are not encrypted, if your communications are not encrypted, they might as well be public, and that's something that's like, it's not a sophisticated thing. It's just, this is what law looks like today, unfortunately. The platforms don't work for you, they work against you. Every platform has a back door for law enforcement to access huge amounts of data, the files, not the paperwork, right? If you go to lers.google.com, that's Google's law enforcement front page. It's very welcoming, it's very easy to use. Fill out a form using all that Google programming smarts, and you'll have all the data you want on anyone who uses Google services. Facebook has facebook.com/records. Twitter has Twitter's legal request form. It's great for prosecutors. It's really bad for defense attorneys, because a prosecutor and law enforcement can request this data. You cannot, right? There's a lot of technology out there that's only available to the state and to prosecutors and never available to defense attorneys. You need to at least know that you're fighting with your hands handcuffed behind your back and there's no solution, right? Okay. The government itself is also Big Brother. There are changes to the way the government's allowed to use technology. Every police force, whether it's a data analyst or a local police force hacker, to the FBI, CIA, NSA, they all have hackers now, right? And the laws on what they're allowed to do has been completely changed overnight, and these hackers can do amazing things. Just in the news, I believe it was yesterday, we find out that the FBI created a FedEx website that totally looks like FedEx. People used it, and it was used to break a crime ring, right? So when people can intercept your web traffic, point it to a fake site, that's the world we live in. We need to know about this stuff so we could at least see it coming and defend against it. There's a lot of data, and we all talk about how data is biased, but algorithms are complicated. The problem with the data is a lot of it is junk data, and you can argue against the data if you understand that where it's sourced from. I come from Harlem in New York City, and we have ComStat. I could literally look at crimes from yesterday in data format. It's open data for anyone to look at, and it's made available by the NYPD. But a lot of people who were working with that data thought it worked like a baseball card, and they just change a few numbers here and there, look good in front of the boss. But that completely skews the algorithm and creates a lot of problems, which are now being slowly trying to be corrected. Understanding that data that's brought in front of you, that's crime data, might actually be able to be challenged is really important. Fake news, misinformation, that's the reality we live in. It could be used against you where you can get doxxed or a client can get doxxed. And the bad thing about that is reputationally, it can completely change the facts outside the courtroom, which makes it very difficult to do your work, okay? How am I doing on time? Okay, so here are some basic things that you can do. I will get these slides out so you can see them, but they're just for me, easier for me to speak off these, right? Understand what a fake email looks like these phishing attempt emails, because that is the #1 way that a hacker breaks into your email account, right? So if I want to break into your email account, I just go to one of these sites like Have I Been Pwned, and I see if your email's been leaked, and it has, right, with that password. If you're still using that password, you're out of luck, and all your clients are out of luck, right? So now, if I send you an email and it appears to come from another attorney or appears to come from someone and it's fake and you click on a link, yeah, that could be used against you. But, people will click on links. I'm a realist, and there's nothing you can do about that. But it's just understanding, how these things happen gives you some way to defend yourself against it, right? You can change your password. You could be a little bit more disconcerting when it comes to looking at links. When you have a document that's an electronic document, you can sandbox that document. It kind of protects you from the explosion of a bad document by opening it in Google Docs, because you're opening it on Google's computers, not on your computers. In this same case where the FBI made a FedEx website, they made a bombed, Google, in a Word document, sorry. So the Word document was hiding malware that was used to catch these criminals, right? So that Word document could hold, that you open, if you open it in Google Drive, will scan it and review it and virus check it, as opposed to you opening it right on your computer, right? So I'm trying to keep these basic. Ransomware is something where your entire computer gets encrypted and you have to pay money to open it up. And it can be targeted against you, the people you work with, or if you work at a law firm, your entire law firm. And it can take you out for days or months, and you'll never get that time back, right? Thank you. So making a backup of your files every day, or having your IT nerds do that, just bribe them with pizza or coffee, will go far. And updating your operating systems on your phones and on your laptops. It's not just for the geeks who you know or the IT team. It's your responsibility to do this, okay? Oh. All right, I don't know why this died, but I happen to know all this stuff, so we're good, okay? So it's really important that part of being a lawyer today, it's not taught when you go to Berkeley Law, it's not taught hey, here's a prerequisite, defending your clients and your data. But unfortunately, that's where we are right now. And that defense doesn't need to only be from criminal hackers, let's say. It has to be from law enforcement, it has to be from prosecutors who are across the aisles from us, and it has to be from a lot of different folks. And it's important that we talk about these things. I am in the break, which is right after this conversation. You can hunt me down if you want to talk more about this. My name is Matt Mitchell, and I hope to see you throughout the day. And I'm a resource to you. And I would love to talk to you more about what you can do to protect yourself from today's day and age of Big Brother, but understand that the chips are stacked against you, but knowledge is power. And it's really easy to take a few steps to just raise the fence of who can get in. And you don't want your case to be dismantled or your complete career to be dismantled by a bored 12-year-old hacker, right? You feel good, right? If a nation state goes in and takes all your stuff, feel good about that, right? If a combination of a subpoena and some weird FBI hacking just destroys your case, pat yourself on the back, right? But it should not be a very low-level person who's trying to get a raise and look good to to the captain in their police precinct, all right? So anyway, I'll leave you with that. Thank you all so much for advancing yourselves and getting this professional development in this very strange or new area. You are all sophisticated lawyers by being here, okay? So thank you. Thank you so much. Questions? I'll take them. Hey, does anyone have any questions? I got 5 minutes. I'm from New York, I talk fast. Pink shirt. Yeah, I'll talk about the pros and cons of web encryption, right? Or just let's say like electronic encryption. Here are the only cons I can think of is you can lock yourself out, right? That's like the only con I can think of, you can lock yourself out. If you are a public defender and you can't even install software on the machine that you use, there's this French website, we all been there, right? You know it, right? Cryptpad.fr, you just go to the website and it's like Microsoft Word, and you can lock down files and encrypt them, and then you can just clear out, do that from a private browser, and then you can just move on and someone else can sit there tomorrow, and that is secure and safe. So, there's some realistic things we can do. A lot of people use Signal. Signal's great because it's easy to use, but just understand that every piece of web encryption, et cetera, has a small down point, right? Like, it's a lot like medicine. People telling you to use Signal are people who are telling you, like, all you need in your first aid kit is a Band-Aid and penicillin, right? Like, and a bar of soap. Like, that's not the truth. But we don't want to confuse you with the entire different world of medical prescriptions. But like Signal has your phone number. So if you're talking to a client on Signal and that's their phone number talking to you, well, that's probably your client talking to you. So if you were using wire.com, or you could just use an alias, and that could be anyone I'm talking to, that would be a huge difference. So that's an example of web encryption's down point. I have 1 minute. Does anyone have a 1 minute question? I'll give you a 30-second answer. 100%. So if you go to myactivity.google.com, that is your entire Google search history. If you ever talk to a thing like, hello, Google, you'll hear your voice on that day with the raspy voice. Am I sick? Right? So go to myactivity.google.com, delete everything. It'll say, are you sure? This might hurt the way things work. Delete, 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 okay? And then delete, delete, delete all your client stuff. Delete, 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 tell them to delete their family stuff, because that's privacy and digital safety. It's data retention, not evidence destruction. If you have the policies written down and you follow them and you give them to everyone, it's not a case-related thing, okay? So be smart, just be an intelligent tech user. Well, if there was a big fire, let's say like the Camp Fire, right, which we know has hurt a lot of people and affected a lot of Americans, if that happened and they took out a Google server farm, they need to pop that server back up again tomorrow. So yes, they have a complete backup of everything. But when you use delete on this, it cannot be used in, let's say, a subpoenaed piece of data, right? So that's what you care about. And a hacker cannot reach it. It's like, if you happen to be using G Suite at your law firm, understand that whoever is the G Suite admin can read the subject of every single email in the law firm, right? But they cannot read the content. But when you remove it, you delete it, or if you use a Google service called Vault, which is an e-discovery service, it's technically reachable, but it's not in your inbox, therefore not hackable, not subpoenable, right? So there's a slight difference there. Do clean these things out. There's another service called google.com/takeout, like a takeout menu, where you can get your data out of these services. Every one of these people who work with prosecutors and work with law enforcement allow you to get your data out and to delete it afterwards, okay? All right, I'm completely out of time. Enjoy your break. Enjoy your coffee.